All right, Sentinel, after gluing the two pieces together. You may be able to see a little bit of the lip here. It's not the exact size as this, but you don't really want to cut it to the exact size, because if it moves while it's gluing, then you have an overhang where you don't want one. Ideally, you want this piece on top of the back piece, so that if there's overlap, the overlap will be on the back piece. And since the back piece is going to ultimately become the size of your piece, it's better that this piece is overlapped by the back piece. And that's what has happened. I was able to lock and load it right here at this corner. You can see that the pieces line up. There's a tiny bit of gap here, but it seems that it's sealed here, so that's not going to be an issue. The bottom area completely clean. I did have a little bit of overlap here, but I'll plane that off. The other side has a shim that's locked in here. I'll just chip it out, and then I will cut this on the compound miter saw and make it flush on that edge. The next step is to push this wing back to get more depth out of it, in addition to in here as well. Once I push this wing back a bit more, I'll keep pushing this tip and this tip down further into the wood, giving it quite a bit more depth as well. Every bit that I take down here allows me to make this larger all along its area. I will continue to work on the right wing. You can see that this whole area here is literally gone now. It is really cleaned up in there now. I'm not going to take this area off just yet. This area will have a little bit of a bend here, a little bit of a line here, and it will be cut out to match this line here, right here. Not going to separate this just yet, because that's giving it the strength to hold up. The actual wing is fairly tough still, because it is in fact still held to the back of the wood. I will not do any separation in here or here or here until the very end, because then it will become far too fragile to work around. One of the problems that I continually have years later is that I'll be working on the piece. You guys know how I do that. I take this piece and I put it right in front of me on its back, and I move it all over the place while I work on it. And I often end up leaning on a fragile piece and snapping it right off. I always put it back on, so that's not an issue, but it is a real challenge for me not to snap things off that I do not want broken, obviously. So I will wait, leaving this powerful right now, and just continue working on it in details and so on, but not separating it from the actual edge until far later. Far later means maybe another week. I'm just saying, I'll be gone this weekend, so there won't be a lot of work done this weekend. I can also push this right paw back. I can get a lot more depth on this forearm here, which will be fantastic, because that will give it a great deal of depth. I can then start to play with clouds and such and start cleaning up the body. This is the back of the creature. The back of the creature goes to about here. So get a better look at that. So the back here will go from here down to here, and there'll be a little lip right here, which when you're looking at it from the front will appear part of the back and heading in that direction, around in that direction. And when that happens, this will be obvious what it is. This will carry through. This will be a little bit line here, noting, denoting the shoulder itself where it meets the neck and the back as well. This will be much more clearly identified as the left forearm and elbow and front paw. I'll put a gap in here as well to differentiate the front paw from the shoulder, gapping the person and the bag and so on. Of course, cleaning up and finishing the bag. So at this stage, I do have quite a bit more to play with, and I'm going to make use of it. So we'll see you soon.